Hi, welcome back to Movie Digest. In this video I'm going to explain 2020 American psychological thriller movie, titled, Dangerous Lies. Spoilers ahead. In Chicago, Katie Franklin, a waitress at a diner, wakes up a sleeping customer at work, who has fallen asleep over his sociological theory and corporate analysis textbooks. But we soon learn it's her husband Adam Kettner. They make out in their car during Katie's break, wishing they could spend more time together, since they both were so busy with their work and studies, trying to make ends meet. Adam says he can't wait to provide for her the way she deserves. When they return to the diner, they witness the diner being robbed at gunpoint. Adam grabs a frying pan and subdues the man, being called a hero. The robber who killed the waiter is sent to prison. 4 months later, Katie is working as a caretaker for an old man named Leonard Wellesley, a wealthy and kind man, who lives alone in a big house. Meanwhile, Adam stopped attending classes to find a job, and Katie mentions that student loans and credit card bills are piling up. Katie is stressed and frustrated, and Adam assures her he'll take care of it, but it does nothing to make her feel better, and she tells him they are in a serious trouble. Katie opens up and tells him that the robbery still haunts her, as she told Adam not to go in there and he could have been killed, and she feels like he never listens to her. Katie goes to Leonard's house to think after her fight with Adam, and Leonard approaches with a baseball bat, suspecting an intruder. He says he keeps thinking he's hearing someone walking around in the house but never finds them, but Katie assures him no one is in the house. She tells Leonard about her problems, and he offers some money to help her out with her situation. But she instead asks for a job for Adam, and Leonard hires Adam to do some work tending to the lawn and gardening. Just then, a real estate agent named Mickey Hayden comes to the door, and tells Katie he represents a client who wants to buy the house. Katie tells him that Leonard has lived in the house his entire life and has no interest in moving, but promises to pass on the message. Later, Mr. Cavern from the Caretaker agency comes by the house, to check on Katie and meet with Leonard, who tells him that Katie is doing a great job, and when Katie opens her next paycheck from Leonard, she finds that it is 10 times of what she is supposed to be paid. She realizes Leonard must have done it after hearing about her money problems. Katie feels she can't accept it and wants to head back to Leonard and to ask for another check, but Adam convinces her to cash the check to pay their bills, and then write Leonard a check to make up the difference. She reluctantly agrees. Later we see Hayden, who seems to be watching them from his car. The next day, Katie and Adam go to Leonard's and find him dead, sitting in a chair in the attic next to his record player. Adam comes over to comfort her, and he begins looking through the things in Leonard's attic, finding a padlock unlocked to a large chest. Inside there are old photos of Leonard and a woman, and underneath a hidden wealth of pure cash. Since Leonard had no family, Adam tells Katie that Leonard wanted to help her and would have wanted her to have the money. Katie and Adam decide to take the money for themselves, where it could make a difference, rather than letting it go into the system. Katie tells Adam they will have to be careful, and he assures her he will be. Detective Chesler arrives to investigate Leonard's death. She does her routine and asks them few questions. Katie decides to go back to the agency to find another job, even though Adam thinks she shouldn't need to. When she tries to get another assignment, Mr. Cavern tells her that until the police finish their investigation, he can't put another client under her care, since it's the company's policy. Meanwhile, Adam goes to Leonard's house to collect the money. But he hears someone downstairs while doing it. He goes to check and sees a broken window, and someone violently hits him from behind. The call from Katie wakes him up, and she scolds him for not being careful and going to Leonard's home like he belongs there. He tells her he counted the cash, and it's close to $100,000. Katie and Adam try to figure out who the person who broke in was and wonder what they knew. Fearful the person could return to Leonard's, they take the cash to the bank and put it into a safe deposit box, and we see Hayden is still watching them. The next day, Katie was called by Chesler. Katie had mentioned that Leonard wanted to be cremated, but Chesler tells her that since Leonard had no family and no will, they don't know who will cover the costs. Katie says she will pay for everything. At Leonard's funeral, Katie and Adam are approached by Julia Byron Kim, who tells them she was Leonard's attorney. She tells them that a few weeks ago Leonard called her out of the blue, and hired her to write up his will. Julia then reveals that Leonard left everything to Katie. They are surprised, and Julia offers to stay on and help Katie through the transition since Leonard had her retainer paid. Julia informs Katie that she alone can make the decisions for the house, not Adam, and warns her that money changes people. Katie and Adam moves into Leonard's house right away, and Adam wants to immediately buy brand new cars and go on fancy vacations, but Katie tries to get him to calm down, and suggests completing his education and find a job. Adam then gets a phone call from the police, asking him to come down to the station to make another statement about the diner robbery. But when he gets there, No one has any record of calling him. He runs into Chesler, who had no idea he was involved with the diner incident. She tells him the assailant from the diner robbery was killed in his cell 2 weeks ago. Hayden comes to the house and again tries to get Katie to sell the house, and she refuses. When he gets aggressive and won't leave, she tells him she owns the house now. He accuses the will of being fake, and she tells him she will call the police if he doesn't leave. Katie tells Adam about it, and thinks of calling Julia to stop Hayden from causing any trouble. But Adam thinks he is frustrated over losing his commission. Later, Katie finds a brand new expensive watch in the bathroom. Adam tells her it's a knockoff, but she doesn't believe him. Meanwhile, Chesler finds the situation suspicious, and goes to check out the diner. She then goes to talk to Adam but runs into Katie. When she finds out Leonard left Katie everything, she becomes even more suspicious. Chesler asks Katie if Adam always came to pick her up at the diner, and Katie tells her that he came early that day and was studying. She then tells Katie the truth that no one from the police called Adam, which Adam never told her. When Adam sees Katie talking with Julia, he becomes angry and says they agreed she wasn't going to talk to her. Katie tells Adam that he decided, but she said no such thing. Katie confronts Adam about not telling her about the phone call, and he tells her he's pretty sure he's being followed. She asks him if he went to the bank, and realizes Hayden probably called him down to the station, so that she would be alone and he could come over and try to intimidate her. She theorizes he must know about the money. Katie tells Adam she warned him he needed to be careful. Meanwhile, Chesler starts looking to find something against Adam. Katie thinks there must be a reason that Leonard stashed up the money. She gets worried, as Julia told her that if the police find out they did something illegal, they could lose everything. She says they need to put the money back, and Adam tells her he won't go back to the way things were before. Chesler questions Mr. Cavern, who is unaware that Leonard left everything to Katie, and had no idea that he hired Adam for gardening. He tells her Katie used to keep a log to track on Leonard's medications. He was shocked when Chesler shows him the much higher value check, which Katie deposited from Leonard the night before he died. Katie goes into the gardening shed looking for Adam, but when he isn't there, she starts looking around and discovers a hidden room. She moves a shelf away from the wall to get inside. In that room she finds uncashed checks written out to Ethan, then a rotting corpse, and a bag of diamonds. She tells Adam that Leonard had a gardener named Ethan who he said stopped showing up one day. Hearing that, Adam pulls out a sack of diamonds revealing he is aware of that, and tells her those were real diamonds. Suddenly, Mr. Cavern shows up angrily, shouting at Katie for taking advantage of an old man and ruining his company's name. Adam comes home with 2 brand new phones, and Katie thinks they don't need them and tells Adam that they can't keep those diamonds. As Katie thinks those things won't go away like they never happened. Adam says that Ethan stole the diamonds, got himself shot, and died alone and no one knows. Katie wants to call Detective Chesler, but Adam stops her as they could lose everything. Katie realizes Ethan joined as a gardener to steal diamonds from Leonard, and never cashed those checks to avoid the paper trail. She thinks they don't need anything as long as they have each other, but Adam refuses, saying he will never go back to the way things were before, and assures Katie he will take care of everything. He gets rid of Ethan's body, and burns the checks. That night, Adam hears an intruder in the house. He grabs a gun and jumps out to confront the intruder, who turns out to be Mr. Cavern, who is shocked and falls backward down the stairs and dies. Chesler comes to the scene and tells Katie she knows none of this is her, and explains that everything is suspicious from the day Adam started working. She also tells Katie that she can't determine if Leonard died of natural causes, since she made him cremated. Chesler then asks if Adam mentioned a Ray Gaskin, the robber at the diner, and was also a janitor where Adam was taking classes. She tells Katie not to let Adam take her down with him, and urges Katie to come to her. Katie meets with Julia and tells her about the whole situation. They go to the deposit box and find the cash is missing. Julia tells Katie that Adam is going to leave with the money and diamonds and throw her to the cops. Julia says she will try to hold off Chesler from getting her search warrant for the house, and that Katie needs to make sure Adam is still here so that everything doesn't fall on her. Meanwhile, the police find Ethan's body and alert Chesler. Katie goes home and finds Adam, who is packing up their things and the money. He tells her he looked up at Hayden and learns he's not a real estate agent, but a criminal just released for robbing a jewelry store, after stealing $3 million in diamonds. His partner Ethan, who he shot, was never caught. Katie wants to call the police, but Adam says they need to flee right away. Katie is relieved that Adam wasn't leaving her, and calls Julia to tell Adam is in their house. Suddenly Hayden shows up, and holds Katie at gunpoint. Hayden holds Katie hostage as Adam aims a gun at him. Hayden shoots Adam multiple times and then knocks Katie to the ground, but before he can do more, Adam manages to fire a few shots at him, killing him. Katie holds Adam, crying as he says something about the garden and dies. Julia arrives and tells Katie they need to find the diamonds before the police get there or else she will be implicated. Katie realizes Hayden must have read her book on Leonard's medications and killed him with an overdose. She wonders why Hayden shot Ethan, and Julia begins ranting about how stupid you would have to be to do that with $3 million in diamonds. When Katie realizes she never mentioned how much the diamonds were worth, Julia grabs Hayden's gun and tells her she was a public defender who got Hayden's case and pled him down to 2 years. Together, they worked to track down the diamonds to Leonard, but weren't able to locate them. She tells Katie she had no idea Hayden would kill Leonard, as he has grown impatient. Katie realizes the will isn't real. Julia says Leonard would have given her the house anyway and begs Katie to tell her where the diamonds are. Katie says Adam hid them and she doesn't know, but wouldn't tell her even if she did. Julia aims the gun at Katie, but Chesler enters. Julia tries to shoot Chesler but Katie shoves her, and Chesler shoots Julia, killing her. Chesler takes Katie out of the house. 4 months later, Katie is working in her garden and pregnant. When Chesler comes to visit her to let her know the case is closed and that Adam was cleared of being a suspect. Chesler says they searched high and low but never found the diamonds. Katie turns on the sprinklers and heads inside. The water from the garden begins washing, revealing the diamonds. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.